Testing 1, 2. 1, 2. We're good.
Arnold, great to have you here in London.
Yo.
Obviously, biggest fight of your career coming up next month against Max Holloway. And you've had some injury problems that have been frustrating for you. How are you feeling heading into this one in comparison to the previous camps, and what do you make of Max as an opponent?
Yeah, feel the same. You know, it's halfway through camp. We've got about 3 more weeks to push. Body feels like shit, and it's pretty standard. So, you know, it's normal. You work hard, push through. Little niggles, things hurt, but that means we're doing everything right. And mentally, I feel fantastic. You know, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. It's a very dangerous guy who's beat a lot of top contenders, and he's beat them very well. He's been world champion. He's been pound for pound #1. You know, he's stepped up to lightweight and had wars with people like Dustin Poirier and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm very excited for the opportunity to challenge someone like that and show what I'm able to do.
Would you say your attention to detail with an opponent like Max is more enhanced to previous opponents just because of how decorated he is, and there's very few guys that have caused him problems?
That water is disgusting, by the way. I feel like that has been there for days. Attention to that detail on that water, that's something. Nah, you know what? You know, as a featherweight, I've always watched Max. He's very exciting. Everyone enjoys his fights. He seems like a cool guy too. I haven't bothered really watching him at all because what's the point? I know what he does. He's going to throw about 1 million punches, kicks, knees and elbows. He's going to try and take my head off. He's going to keep peppering me like I'm a German sausage or something, I don't know. And, you know, I know what he's going to do, so I don't need to watch it. I know what I need to do to get the win, and all I'm doing is working on that.
Final one from me. Obviously, if you get the win, get the title shot, surely the title fight has got to happen here in the UK.
I don't think there's a chance of that if Volk's the champion, right? You think he's got to go travel?
Maybe if we got multiple contenders, you know,
Yeah.
it could fall at a time when Tom's fighting for a belt also.
Yeah.
That stadium show.
I reckon you say, Volk, you got to travel to the UK to defend your belt. He goes, fuck you.
Maybe if you put it out there enough, it could happen.
I don't know. I doubt he wants to come from Australia to raid London, to be honest.
Best of luck anyway, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Arnold, how you doing, man? First of all, nice to see you again.
And you,
I
mate.
think it's the second time round we've seen you without actually having a fight. Last time you come to
Yeah. It's weird. I hate doing this.
Yeah, I know.
I like it after a win, but I feel weird now because I've got nothing to talk about.
Before you came in, me and him were saying to each other, he says he hates doing this. But we appreciate it, of course. One thing I want to say, so everyone can hear it, is everyone's saying Max Holloway, he's finally taking, like, you know, the big step. In my eyes, I think it's just another name another name for you to put on your record. Like, you beat Calvin Kattar, you beat Dan Hooker, you beat Gilbert Melendez. To me, they're all that level.
Yeah.
So do you disagree when people say that?
Yeah, you know, we're in the UFC, you know, once you get into that top 10 sort of thing, top 15, everyone's a killer. We're all hungry young guys. We all want to buy our families houses, and we all want to feed our kids and all these things. And you know, we're all elite level athletes. We put our lives and souls into this, so there is no easy test. We're all killers. We're all dangerous guys at the top, and every challenge presents different opportunities. And I think beating Max is a bigger opportunity than a lot of the other guys, but I don't think it necessarily is any bigger of a challenge.
I said your last opponent was Calvin Kattar, who obviously Max Holloway fought as well. Max hasn't obviously been around since he fought Volkanovski, if I remember rightly. Does that mean anything to you that he's been out a little while as well? Because I know you're always known as the guy for fighting once a year, like you always say, you know what I mean? But do you think that's going to have any effect at all for Max?
No, not at all. If anything, a positive. He took a lot of damage in that fight, and you know, he didn't necessarily look offbeat. I just think Volkanovski looked a level above, and a lot of people, fans, sort of contacted me saying how he's washed up, he's done. I'm like, is he fuck? You know, is he fuck? It's just Volkanovski's on another level. I thought he beat Islam Makhachev the other day as well. So, you know, it's Volkanovski. He's just running away. He's getting better and getting better. So, I don't think Holloway is a step behind what he was when he was champion. I don't think he's a step behind. Volkanovski's just that good.
And obviously beating going in and defeating someone like Max Holloway is obviously a very good setup for the title fight as well. And I say you beat someone like Max, and you probably know you're ready anyway. But beating someone like him really makes you think, right, now is my time, because you've been in the UFC for a long time now.
Yeah. You know what, like, if you want to be world champion, you have to beat the number one guys. And for me, outside of the champion, Max Holloway is the number one guy, right? And there's a shortcut if you go around it and not fight him. I don't think there was really any other guys calling Max Holloway out. And, you know, respectfully, I was asking for that fight. That was the fight that made sense to me. And fortunately, we got it. And I don't think anyone else is sitting there going, can I have Max Holloway, please? So, you know, exactly, yeah.
That's what I love about you. You haven't been this person. Obviously, you want to win a title, of course, but you haven't been like, I want to do it now. You know, you're beating that. You're going through the stages and beating them at the level, opposed to because then you'll know you're ready. You can go from fighting someone number 10 to 1, and you think, why didn't I win that fight? But if you're going through all these different ranks, it just proves that you definitely are ready.
Yeah, that's it. I want to fight the best guys, and you know, if I beat Max Holloway, you bet your ass I'll be calling for a title shot.
Look forward to it, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Arnold in the front right here. You mentioned all the strikes that Max has absorbed and stuff. He's landed, I think he's the only one to have 3,000 significant strikes landed, but he's also absorbed the most head strikes. Do you think it's at the point of his career where that might be catching up to him at all from what you're seeing?
Mentally, I don't think it's affected him at all. I think he's fine. You know, he's going to keep coming with the same game plan. He's not going to be deterred. And, you know, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to throw 5, maybe you land 4 or whatever. You know, he's going to be happy with that. It's science. It happens. It's going to catch up to you. And, you know, we've seen it with a lot of athletes over the years. But, yeah, he's tough as nails. And I don't think it's going to change anything he does.
And we talk a lot about Volk's win, but Yair Rodriguez, of course, won the interim title in the co-main event. I'm curious, what was your reaction to his performance, and how do you see that playing out between Volk and Yair? Yeah, that was literally, other than the submission, that was to a T how I thought the fight was going to go. But I think Volkanovski's too well-schooled, too tactical, too fit, and it's just he's going to dominate in that fight, if they do fight. Is that booked? Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's like rumors that might be happening.
I feel like he needs a rematch with Islam, you know?
Arnold.
What's up, buddy? Good?
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm starting to get lost with all these hairstyles, man. Can't keep up. One day you're bald, one day you've got hair.
I'm just an at-home barber now. I keep doing like a mullet, a board, and I'm like, you know what, shave it off, and then it grows long, and then I'm like, mullet again.
So Jose touched on Yair versus Volkanovski. If Volkanovski does win, I don't think he'd be too fussed about coming to England, to be honest, because Islam went over to Australia to defend his title. I think he'll gladly come to London and defend against you, to be fair.
Yeah.
Why do you think he wouldn't?
Oh, you've seen Australia? It's quite nice. The weather looks good. Have you seen it outside? It's grey. It's miserable. A lot of road works going on.
Just a couple of quick ones from me as well. Jai Herbert obviously just fought. Did you manage to catch that fight, and what did you think of his performances since he's your teammate?
Yeah, I watched it obviously. It was a rough one. I thought he did well. A little bit, you know, backed up a little bit too much, I think, but he got that point. I thought it was a bit harsh. You know, I know there was 2 in a row, but I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was a legit foul, the second one, but got to be careful in those positions, especially when that happened just before. But yeah, I guess he was winning if he got a draw and he got a point taken off, right? So yeah, he was doing good, nice work in the clinch, but I think just backing up a little bit too much, that was also.
And just finally, again, your teammate fights in the main event today, Leon. How do you see that fight playing out?
I think it's going to be a lot more like the first round they had, and I firmly believe that Leon didn't appreciate the altitude as much as he should have, you know, and it's a real thing. It will get you, you know. Usman lives in there, and you know, he lives it all year round. He's sort of accustomed to it, you know, and being at the weigh-ins Friday, you know, hearing the crowd for Leon. I've been at this O2 arena, I've weighed in there at the same sort of scale, the same event, the same scale sort of thing, and it's never been like that before. And to see such a hostile crowd with Usman, I don't think he's ever experienced anything like that. You know, people say it, some people are cold to it, but I'm no psychologist, but I feel like he's not that cold to it. Yeah.
Just last one from me. You touched on there that you felt that Volkanovski needs a rematch with Islam. In your opinion, how do you think that first fight went down, and how do you think he would do in a rematch?
Yeah, I thought he won. I thought Volkanovski won. He looked amazing. I had it with some of my coaches. My coach sort of said the opposite. But, you know, it is what it is. But I thought he looked good. It was very impressive. I thought he was going to look good. I didn't think he was going to win. Obviously, he didn't win, and he did look good. So I guess I am right there. But yeah, I felt like he won. I thought he did enough to win. And the new sort of judging criteria, but I don't know. Do they use that? It's all over the place sometimes, you know.
And in a rematch, how do you think a rematch would go down if they do it a second time?
If what he says is true, that he was a bit apprehensive because of the the strength, the size difference, and he's sort of slow in the first rounds, then if he runs away in the first couple of rounds, yeah, I think he can get the win. Thanks, guys. Big up, Jake Hadley. Yes. Go on, mate.